Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Grow with StreamYard. As usual, I'd love to know where you're all tuning in from. It's so awesome to see how global our audience is. So stoked to get started. If you're new here, my name is Presley Renner. I'm a live event producer here at StreamYard, and I'm based in Chicago, Illinois. As a woman in tech, I'm always seeking ways to grow and expand in my experience professionally and personally. So it's so amazing to start this series. As always, please sound off in the chat throughout the event. Let us know your thoughts. If there's anything I've learned from live streaming, it's that we learn as much from you as you learn from us. So please keep that live chat busy and poppin'. So for today, Grow with StreamYard, I'll give you a little bit of background of our event. Grow with StreamYard is a bi-monthly series meant for all users in 2022. Our goal is to provide development training from professional coaches and speakers for free so that all of our users will get additional support to further develop their live streaming careers with us, regardless of your background and regardless of your StreamYard usage. So today's going to be a great episode because our topic is strategic branding. We all remember our first stream. I personally grew up as a theater bug enthusiast, someone who is on stage all the time, but I still remember my first stream about 3 years ago. My heart pounded faster than it ever has for being in a live event. I don't know what it was. It might be that you can't physically see your audience sometimes, but it can be so terrifying. But luckily, StreamYard had my back. I had excellent branding in my show, but Rome wasn't built in a day. So as I've grown on, my strategic branding has become much more involved, much more in depth, much like our speaker today. So I'm excited to get started and show all of this to you. We're going to examine the ways that we can continue to evolve through strategic branding and keep every stream professional and grow with every single event. After all of our sessions, you're welcome to stay behind to network with each other by clicking on the appropriate icons on the left side panel. Our closed captioning service is provided by Aberdeen Broadcasting Services, and you can find the link to a separate window below the video. Our stage chat is to the right on your screen, and if you want to focus on the stage content, you can minimize the whole side section by clicking into the icon with one vertical line and a small arrow. If you want to participate in the live Q&A throughout the event, please add your questions to our chat so that we can bring them up on screen with Hop-In Backstage powered by StreamYard. To adjust the volume, you can change your settings either on your computer speaker or at the bottom left corner of the video viewer. If we suddenly freeze on screen, don't worry, just refresh the page and it should be good as new. So now for the best part, let's introduce our amazing speaker. Elizabeth Morgan has built up a strategic brand on LinkedIn with close to 90,000 followers and over 24 million views of her page. She creates content about her time working on Google's recruiting team and her experience as a social media expert. She currently works at Amazon as a content strategist. Liz creates content to empower people to energize their sleepy and boring days, seek out fascinating opportunities, and pursue passion and growth in times when we don't want to spend our days and nights watching TV or working for someone who doesn't prioritize us. When Liz isn't writing LinkedIn content and networking, she's gardening, exploring Washington with her boyfriend, creating clay earrings for her Etsy page, Lively Liz Creations, or making gluten-free healthy treats. I feel that. I'm gluten-free myself. I know how tough it can be to get the texture just right, so I'm very impressed by that. Without further ado, we'll get started. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh. Tyler, thank you so much for doing such a great job today. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to talk to you today about my experience and just share just as much as I can with you about my journey, how I've gotten to where I am, and how you can utilize strategic branding for your own benefit. So I know we already did this, but I would really love to know right now where you are tuning in from. So if you haven't shared already, please add in the comments, where are you from today? where are you at right now? Are you in your home office? Are you at work with your headphones in? I'd love to hear a little bit more. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so let's get started. So today I'm going to talk to you about how I have managed to bring in now 24 million LinkedIn page views. I have over 87,000 LinkedIn followers, how I've managed to build a supportive virtual community through my content creation. I'm going to answer your questions at the end of our session together. So stay tuned, ask your questions along the way in this chat over here on the right-hand side. And we're going to do a live Q&A at the end. So stay tuned to learn more. Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm going to start this conversation today and share a little bit of a story about who I am. So this picture right here was my very first professional photo. I was 20 years old, and about 10 minutes before I took the picture, I had just declared human resources as my major. I didn't exactly know how college worked. I was a first-generation college student. I was the first person in my family to go to college. And yeah, I graduated college with a 3.0. So I had a tough time figuring out what I wanted to do in life, what I wanted to be known for. And I had this immense pressure to be who I thought I was supposed to be. I thought that I needed to have this amazing internship and have a 4.0 and be extremely well known. But the truth was, I didn't need any of those things. I managed to move across America to join a fast-paced startup on their recruiting team. A few months after that, Google found me, and I'm currently at Amazon. So how did I get to all of this? I spent all of my free time on LinkedIn. So started my LinkedIn profile back in 2013. And in 2015, I had a summer desk job where all social media apps were banned except for LinkedIn. So when I wasn't answering questions from students and people who were visiting the area, I was on LinkedIn networking. And I was in these business classes. I was learning about these CEOs and these incredible people who have done so much in their professional careers. I was getting my degree in business as well. And I was just noticing that I was so close to being able to have a conversation with these people on LinkedIn. They were one connection invite away. So I started reaching out to people on their LinkedIn profiles, and I would just share messages like this. So this is the exact message that I sent to one professional on LinkedIn in 2016. They're actually a recruiter at Google. By the end of my summer job, I had virtual coffee chats with over 100 professionals, people who inspired me, people who I thought were very successful and interesting, people who gave me energy. And I had become so passionate about establishing what I thought was a credible LinkedIn profile so that these incredible professionals would take inexperienced me more seriously. By the end of my senior year of college, I had a few thousand solid connections on the platform. And I also started teaching my own classes in my college, in my free time, on how to develop your LinkedIn so that professionals take you seriously. So this is all about professional branding. I think the very first step in your journey towards personal branding is figuring out who you want to have in your circle. Who do you want to be like? Who do you want to learn from? Who inspires you? So I'm going to make this a little bit interactive when we hang out together today. I'd love if you could share in the chat who you admire and why. You don't have to share an exact specific person, but I'd love if you could describe some of the characteristics of the people that you admire. They could be a professor, a boss, an entrepreneurial friend, maybe someone that you've never met, someone famous. Who do you admire and why? So go ahead and read what the other people in the chat are saying and see if any of that resonates with you and maybe inspires some sort of thought within you of, oh, I actually know someone who's like that. And what I want you to do is maybe take a piece of paper, maybe pull out your phone right now if you're on your phone tuning in, thank you. But make a list of the people who inspire you and try and come up with 10 different people from various areas of your life. And it may seem a little hard to do at first, but 10 people is that solid goal. And that's actually what I did starting out. I'm seeing some stuff on the side. People are saying they're first managers. They taught them the mindset of how to do better. I love that people are actually sharing specific names. Maybe we can follow some of these names on LinkedIn. Oh, I love this. Maureen says, I admire those who follow their dreams and have it work out. They don't give up. And then it looks like Katie says, my friends are some of my biggest inspirations. They're thoughtful, kind, hardworking, and passionate. I love that. So hold on to that. Make a list of it, whether it's on your phone or on a piece of paper next to you. And then I also want you to think, these people that you admire, how did they become successful in these ways that you admire? So what's really helped me over the years, having that 3.0, not having this amazing experience, how did I get into these corporate America, these amazing well-known companies? It's understanding the stories of the people who have made it into these situations that I want to be in. So these 10 people that you're going to add to your list after our time ends today, these are 10 people that you should reach out to and try and ask to understand their stories, whether you meet virtually, kind of like how we're doing right now, only I wish I could see your face right now, or you're in person. Maybe you're able to ask them to coffee. If you're not able to meet this person, maybe you've never met them before, maybe they're extremely busy, or they're really well known and they don't know who you are, take time to understand their story. Where do they come from? What have they done? What about them is so interesting to you? What about them is so successful to you? When you're done with this exercise, you're going to have this full list of goals, inspirations, and this is actually the exact process that I went through when I was getting started with branding. Once I understood what I admired about the people that were inspirational to me, I helped uncover what I loved about myself, what I wanted to grow in, what I wanted to become. And that really helped me create content on social media that was authentic, that was engaging. So while people around me were quietly grinding on their own plans and ideas, I decided to actually start writing about my own discovery process on LinkedIn. So I was having these virtual coffee chats every week with my 10 people, like what you're going to eventually do. And as my list started growing, I started gaining more advice and more help from people along the way. And I realized that all of these things that I was learning, I felt really uncomfortable keeping this to myself. I had learned so much from all of these fantastic people. I didn't want to hold on to all of this energy that I gained, all the inspiration I had gained, when I could just build up an entire community. So I started sharing the things that I was learning on LinkedIn as LinkedIn posts. And actually, this is my very first LinkedIn post. You can see it right here. I had just finished talking with someone on the phone. I was asking them questions about what advice they had for college students. And they had shared, and I thought, wow, I want everybody on LinkedIn to actually comment on this and share their thoughts as well, because LinkedIn is this professional community. I'm sure I could get really great insight from professionals. What happened? I had one professional response. So my very first LinkedIn post, I got one person commenting on it, didn't get any likes. And I felt so lonely on the platform because nobody was posting. No, people were writing articles, but they were really well-known, really successful people. So I definitely felt some imposter syndrome. I felt pretty uncomfortable, but I kept going. I almost gave up. I almost said, okay, I don't think that LinkedIn is the platform for me, but I decided to continue with it. I kept posting. And something really cool happened. The more I posted, and if you were to scroll to the very beginning of my LinkedIn profile, you'd see that I started out, as I shared, with only a couple of likes, only a couple of comments. But when I kept at it and I continued sharing stories and sharing insight that I was learning throughout my professional career, something really cool started happening. The people that I was reaching out to and connecting with started wanting to help me. And I had one person in particular, they were an agency recruiter. They went to the same college as me, and I really admired how they had built up this great network in their career. So I asked to have a coffee chat with them. And we didn't spend a lot of time answering the questions that I asked them. I didn't realize this. It actually became an interview. They were asking me what I wanted to do with my career and where I wanted to go. And by the end of our time together, they had told me that they wanted to help me in my professional career. They admired how driven I was, how much I cared about growing and teaching other people. So they actually started advocating for me. They reached out to a bunch of recruiters that they knew across all of corporate America, shared my resume with them. And a couple weeks later, I was able to land my first job. So I moved to a brand new city. I was in my first corporate America job. I was working 70 hours a week at a startup as the only recruiting coordinator. I was exhausted, but more importantly, we were hiring hundreds of people. And I was in touch with all of these people. It was my job to schedule interviews for them, to give them an incredible candidate experience. And I actually really started getting to know these people as friends. I learned so much about them, more than just their resumes. I learned where they were taking their kids so they couldn't attend an interview, or, different things that they needed in order to be successful. And it would really bother me when I would learn that this person wasn't going to move forward with our interview process because of this very specific reason that I wish, if I would have known about it, if I could have coached them through that reason, maybe they could have gotten a job at our company. And I was junior. It was my first job out of college. And I just felt so uncomfortable realizing that, I started meeting people and I wasn't able to teach them how to advocate for themselves. It already happened. So I started taking note of this, and I started actually helping people one-on-one as much as possible. It was really important to me that I was taking time to really understand what was going wrong with candidates, how they could improve. And I started coaching people one-on-one, just how can I help you develop yourself? What is on your resume that you can change? How can you brand yourself more effectively so that you can advocate yourself during the interview process? I started really putting a lot of effort into helping people be more confident over the phone or over video. But I also started burning out because we had hundreds of people that we were talking to, and I was talking one-on-one with all of these people. And I started realizing as I was creating LinkedIn content, and then on the side as I was helping all these people, that I could help someone one-on-one, or I could take the same advice and I could help a limitless amount of people if I share it on LinkedIn. So I started posting content on LinkedIn. I started sharing stories about people that I was helping, a lot of people that I was noticing were not doing things the right way. How were they advocating for themselves? What were they putting on their resumes, on their LinkedIn? How are they answering interview questions? So I started writing LinkedIn posts to try and help as many people as I could. And that is when Google saw my posts and reached out to me. So this is actually the post that it received a lot of views. And it was me saying that I'm going to dedicate my weekend to helping people who are discouraged from their job search. Go ahead and comment below, send me a connection request. I will talk to you via LinkedIn Messenger and help you with your resume and help you with your LinkedIn. And hundreds of people commented on my post saying, Elizabeth, can you please help me with my profile? Like, I want to get a job. I want to be noticed. And this is what started something huge for me. I started responding to so many people. And the more people would reach out asking for my advice, the more content I would have to write, the more I'd be able to share information that was relevant and helpful with the community. So, this was going on. And once I got more involved at Google, it was my job to review thousands of resumes, and I talked to hundreds of candidates, people who had applied to Google. And oh my goodness, I was exhausted. It was a crazy time just learning all about what makes a good profile, how someone can advocate for themselves effectively. So I just started writing more and more content. And my content started taking off. I started writing professional content as much as I could about my professional career, trying to give people advice, trying to help them in a situation that maybe they could relate to me, and maybe they were a first-gen college student. Maybe they were the first person in their family to go into corporate America. I started creating content for people who were maybe lonely in their professional careers, who were overworked and underpaid, in all the ways that I could relate. I started creating content, and I'm going to share a little bit more about how I create content soon. But as I was creating content and as I was being creative, I started noticing that I had this desire to share more of myself with the world. And that actually started Livelyless Creations for me. So I actually turned a small side hobby that I had into a part-time job. And up until this point, I was creating content on LinkedIn only for job seekers. And I very nervously decided to make a LinkedIn post about my earring content. It wasn't job tip related, but it was something that brought me joy, that brought me energy and inspiration. And so I decided to showcase it on LinkedIn. And it was really surprising to me. I had several thousand followers by that point. I posted about my Etsy shop launching, and I posted a link to my Etsy page, and I sold out. And now once a month or so, I'll actually add a few dozen pairs of earrings that I make in my free time on the weekends. Posted it to my Etsy page, made a post about it on LinkedIn, and sold out. And it has continued happening. This is what the posts look like, actually. So I'll share pictures of, I'll put my little mouse over here. I'll show pictures of myself, holding some of the boxes, like what it looks like to ship the content, sharing pictures of what people in the audience care about, and showing pictures of the earrings themselves. So I have extremely low inventory now, because every time I post on LinkedIn that I'm selling my earrings, my LinkedIn followers go to my Etsy page and they sell me out of earrings. So I started growing in corporate America. I realized I wanted to do more than review resumes for a living. I was passionate about social media, and I wanted to be known for more than just the person who gave resume tips. So I started growing, the depth of my content grew, and I left Google actually to pursue a full-time role in social media management. And last month, I actually joined Amazon as a content strategist. But what's so amazing to me is every professional opportunity that I've had has come to me through LinkedIn, has come to me through the posts that I write. I share my story. I share what I believe to be inspiring, to be helpful to people who are in situations that I was once in. I haven't actually ever applied to a company that I've worked at, Google, Amazon, startups, HR software companies. These are all situations that I've been in where they've actually reached out to me. They found me through my LinkedIn content. And LinkedIn also accounts for almost 90% of my earring sales. So how do I do this? I talked about the list earlier, your list of 10 people. That's something that is very important to me. I have my list very close at hand. It's actually a notebook. I create content for my past self. I create 2 to 3 posts a week, and I post my content for roughly 3 different groups of people. For people who are lost in their careers, people who lack the confidence to say yes. Maybe it's to start their own side thing, or to speak up at work, or even to join a company that they're passionate about, but they don't think they are experienced in. Or the person who doesn't think that their skills are valuable. So I create content and I share insight from my past self, and I draw inspiration from the types of people that I first started following at the beginning. So the secret sauce that you have been waiting for. These questions that I've added to the screen right here, these are questions that I answer myself usually a couple times a year. I'll pull these up and ask myself, what am I good at? What can I help other people with? What do I want to be good at? Can I share my journey of growth with people online on LinkedIn? And then my other two questions, what do I want people to know me for? And then finally, what brings me energy? So I believe that my success on LinkedIn has grown more as I have become more comfortable sharing my journey with others. It can be very vulnerable to admit that you're not good at something or you're trying something for the first time, but I answer these questions myself, and continuously bringing these up in my mind helps me to create content and build community. So I would love if you could take a moment. I'm seeing some people on the side. Oh, the magic of number 3. It looks like Susan said that. Let's see. Also, it looks like we are not having audio issues. Okay, let me know if you can hear me okay in the side. Feel free to add an emoji. But go ahead and take a moment to maybe answer one of these questions in the chat on the side. What resonates? And also, while you're here, you have an opportunity to add your LinkedIn profile, your Instagram page over to your own profile. So feel free to do that and then click on other people's profiles, and you can follow them on social media and connect with them on social media today, right now. So as you are answering these questions, look at what other people are sharing and see if you resonate in any type of way, and maybe you can inspire each other. But think through this and consider adding this to your list of 10 people. You've got the 10 people, you've got why you think they're amazing. Now add what you want to be known for, what you want to be good at, what you're already good at, what brings you energy. So as you're writing this down, now it's time to think about the person that you are creating content for. So I've already shared, I have a very specific type of person that I am creating content for. I think about them every time I post. For me, posting on LinkedIn has not been about trying to get the most likes or trying to gain the most followers. It's to help the person that I used to be, to help the person who is struggling in ways that I struggled, to share insight in the ways that I've had to learn myself over the years that I don't want you to have to learn the hard way. So for me, the content that I create, I'm creating content for me specifically. It's niche. The LinkedIn content creator. I am the lively Liz earring maker, and I am also the gluten-free gardener. So these are they're a little bit broad, you could say, but these are the things that I want people to know me for. These are the things that I post content on. I'll share a different type of content each time I post. So I'm posting generally 2 or 3 times a week. I try and post in some of these different areas. And for me, what I've noticed, an area that people can go wrong when they're posting on LinkedIn or even just anywhere on social media, I've noticed the people that focus only on selling something or only on getting likes or followers, those are the people that oftentimes their content doesn't take off. And it's very important to me that I share as much as I can about my journey in all of these 3 areas, because it's helping me meet people who are interested in similar things, who are working towards similar goals. So it's been important to me as I have grown on LinkedIn specifically, that I've shared my journey, because I want to build a space for people who are like me, people who are inspired by the things I'm working on, and I want to be inspired by my audience as well. So think about those 3 questions. What excites you? What do you want to be known for? And what do you want to spend your time doing? That spending time on social media got me a job in social media, and I now create content as a job to try and encourage people and invigorate people. So you'll never know when the things that you're sharing come back to you in a great way. I get paid to garden now. It's pretty insane. I will post pictures of my lovely garden tower that I have. I'll post it on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and the company actually will send me free gardening supplies. Will sponsor the content that I write, and it's all because I started sharing my journey. So you never know when this can come back to you in a really powerful way. But now I ask you, feel free to share in the chat or just think about it on the side. What are 3 things that you want to be known for? I shared mine. You should totally share yours. Share it in the chat. think about it. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing some really great things that I'd love if we could pull up. So I see Andrew Kavanaugh. Andrew says he focuses on Adobe and Photoshop and photography-focused live events and Photoshop tutorials. Wow, I love that. Andrew, we would love, you should link your favorite thing that you've ever done. You should totally link it in the comments so that we can check it out. Anybody else? Let's see. Is anyone else going to share? I'd love to see it. But 3 things that you want to be known for. And this is going to help you start your own content creation journey if you want to. So now I'm going to dive into a little bit more on my content. So here are my top tips for creating content. This is what I've followed myself over the years. I've been doing this 5 years now. I didn't start out successful, but now every time I post, I get between 30 and 50,000 views on a post. I usually sell out of earrings about a day after I post a social media post, and I get hundreds of likes. So my tips for you: 1, give yourself space to be creative. Now, I mean virtual space. So what I mean by I don't mean virtual space, sorry. I mean actual space. For me, it's taking a shower, or going in my backyard, or just taking time to be away from my phone, from people who are, maybe distracting me. I try and take time to really be creative, to think about what I want to talk about, create for the younger me. So the person that I think could benefit from the things that I've learned. And then honestly, my very favorite one is create before you consume. So it can be very easy to go on social media and just scroll, scroll, scroll. And maybe you find yourself getting a little bit tired, getting a little bit uncomfortable with where you're at in your life compared to the people that you follow. For me, I really try to create content based on how my week is going, or something I've learned that week, or someone who really inspired me. I really try and storytell before I hop on the platform and start scrolling. Otherwise, I find myself submerged in the, oh my goodness, so-and-so got another job, so-and-so is making millions of dollars. What am I doing wrong in my journey? But the truth is, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just on my own path. So create before you consume other people's content. Find a creative space to work in. For me, it's my office. I have all my plants behind me, and I have a little doggy bed for my pup, and I just spend time in here making earrings. Organize your thoughts. So I'm going to share some tools here very soon that I utilize when I'm posting content, but have a space for yourself, whether it's a notebook where you can write things down in your ideas. For me, I use Google Docs. Post 2 to 3 times a week, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever platform that you are utilizing. 2 to 3 times a week is usually my sweet spot, where I'm creating enough content where I'm able to build community and people can expect content from me, but it's not so much that I'm burning out every day, because there comes a point where when you are consistently involved in your community and you're creating content to help others, it's so amazing and exhausting. It becomes exhausting to keep up with it. And it's better to post a very good thing once or twice a week than things that kind of take your energy away, and you spend yourself just responding to comments and getting really involved in things that maybe don't energize you, and you find yourself burning out and not wanting to be on the platform. So consistency is key. So that's why I say spend time on the platform every day, whether it's liking other people's posts, supporting other people in the community, supporting the people here who are writing such fascinating 1, 2s, and 3s. Please check out the comments on the side. People are sharing really fascinating stuff. I love it. So here's the truth. You do not need to spend money to become a content creator. It's the truth. You don't. I haven't spent money on anything content creation wise, but I will share that I do spend money on my clay earrings, on early gardening supplies at the very beginning of my journey, and I do buy notebooks to jot my ideas down in. So pen and paper have been really helpful for me. But the truth is, you see all these people with these fancy tools and these very expensive things. You don't need that at the start. When I first started posting on LinkedIn specifically, people resonated with what I wrote. So over time, you can invest in things. Like I started investing in different fun things to start taking photos. But at the very beginning, that's not important. So here are my favorite tools. Now, only one of these tools is something that I actually pay for. So that's Shield app. So Shield app is amazing. It actually, I will hop to the next slide for a second. Shield app actually helps me to know how many views I have. This is from April of 2017 to April of this year. So I'm at almost 25 million views, close to 300,000 likes. So here is some awesome metrics that I've been able to pull from Shield. And there's a lot of really great insight about my top performing posts, the companies that people who tune in to my content for, where they're coming from, where they work at, where they come from. So a lot of interesting stuff. So I recommend Shield app. It does cost money. That's something that I didn't really start trying to understand until just a few months ago. But I use Grammarly to check my spelling because at the end of the day, you can have some grammatical errors from time to time, but it's important to avoid consistent spelling errors. It can cause people to not trust you, to not think that you're credible. So I will put a post through Grammarly before I post to just remove any consistent errors, apostrophes where there shouldn't be, the wrong there, the wrong, I don't even know, the wrong something or another. What sort of mistakes you can make in avoiding those. I use Canva to create banners. Canva is actually how I made this PowerPoint presentation. I use StreamYard, which we're on right now. Go StreamYard. If you've ever used StreamYard before, you should put your favorite emoji in the chat on the side right there. I'd love to know if you're using StreamYard too. I love StreamYard. I have used it for a very long time. It is quite a bit of fun. And then finally, Google Docs to remember your thoughts. If you're not a typing out type of person, then you could consider having a notebook, pen and paper. But for me, I actually like to, I've always got my phone on me. And sometimes an idea will hit me in the middle of just maybe I'm driving my car out of my garage and I remember how, someone said something, something annoying happened and I want to create content around it to inspire or to help or to just share a perspective. I don't always have a pen and paper handy, but I almost always have my phone. So I'll just get out Google Docs and I'll just type up a quick message and then I'll add to it over the coming days. Tyler, thank you so much. You're doing amazing. And I hope that I am not talking too quickly, but please let me know. Cool. Everybody give a shout out to Tyler. This is so amazing how accessible this is right now. Just, oh my goodness. I have never been able to be with an interpreter before, and it's just so wonderful. Thank you for being here, Tyler. Alrighty, so moving right along. Time to play a quick game of true or false. Please answer in the chat with your favorite T or your favorite F. You should only post job-related content on LinkedIn. True or false? Okay, let's see it coming in. I am seeing, looks like falses. Yep, you all caught the bluff. So I started writing job content on LinkedIn, but oh my goodness, it wore me out. I had hundreds of people asking me to look at their resume every day. I did not have the time or the energy for it. I found myself avoiding the platform. The truth is, you should put energy into what you enjoy. You should create content around the things you enjoy, the things that fascinate you, because you're going to find yourself talking about that with a lot of people in just a few months or a few years' time. So, totally false. Exactly. Seeing this on the side, you should post anything on LinkedIn. Truthfully, you should post anything that you are passionate about, that you could see yourself having career in, that you want to have professional, fascinating conversations with other people about. Heck, I have made posts only on gluten-free eating, and it's so much fun. All right, so I have another one for you. True or false? You should only create content about something you are an expert in. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I love this. Perfect. Okay, more falses. Yeah, I'm creating bluffs here. Yeah. So You should create content around things, again, that inspire you, that interest you, that fascinate you, because that, again, is where you're going to spend the most amount of your time. And honestly, life can be exhausting. It's kind of fun when social media can be an escape. If you talk about the things that you like, the things that you're growing in, the things you want to learn more about, a community comes together in this wonderful way, and they share resources, they give advice, they recommend people that you should connect with and get to know so that you can grow in your own journey. So you shouldn't only create content in something you're an expert in. But I do see a comment on the side that says, but it helps to know what you're talking about. Also, StreamYard just read my mind in the comment I wanted them to pull up. So I just have to say a quick woohoo, nice job on that. Yeah, so don't create content in something that you are an expert in, but create content in something that you're interested in, you want to learn more about, that you already have a passion for. All right, last question. If your content is good, will you see success from it right away? True. Well, yeah, if your content is good, you'll see success right away. True or false? I like Tim's comment on the side. Other people fascinate me. Love that. Yep, so 3 falses in a row. If your content is good, people might not notice you for months or even years. I have been posting for about a year before I had a post that did really well, before Google reached out. So it's really important to not create for the likes and the comments and the someday I'm going to get a job at Google. It's more so important to talk about the things that are meaningful to you, to show up consistently, hang out every day, comment on a few posts, get to know other people who are in similar situations. And the truth is, you will meet amazing people along the way. So, takeaways. Talk about your passions, the things you're interested in. Help in the ways that you wish that you were helped, or help in the ways that you want to help in the future. What I just said did not make sense. Help in the ways that you wish younger you, less experienced you, you that has never been in the situation you're in now. How can other people benefit from what you're doing? And then finally, show up consistently. Whether it's just hanging out on the platform every day to spread encouragement, to share your opinion, to give advice, or maybe you're creating posts on social media. Show up consistently and you will grow with time. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for following along, being so engaging and interested. So now I'm going to turn it over to you. What questions do you have for me? Go ahead and ask on the side. I will answer a few questions that people are asking. This is being recorded. You can watch it afterwards. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Wonderful StreamYard hosts, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be on YouTube a little later so that you can rewatch, pause, rewind. If I'm talking too slow, you can double me up. If I'm not talking fast enough, you can, yeah. So anyways.
Thanks so much for an awesome presentation. It's so, I mean, I know the chat is absolutely lit up like crazy. It's been so amazing to learn from you. So I'm excited to ask some of these questions. Our first one is from John Goodwill. I have a strong following on YouTube, but don't have the money to sustain a StreamYard panel. Is there any way around that objective?
Great question. I'm curious, when they say a StreamYard panel, I'm curious if they mean potentially a StreamYard premium account.
Yeah, I know. I was like, maybe I have an answer for this one too.
Yeah, maybe you have an answer. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, even on the free plan of StreamYard, you get up to 6 guests. So if you wanted to host a panel of people, it would be sourcing that guests that would likely be your cost. However, you know, even from our event experience, we host panels here every month where streamers are really ready to share their ideas and get on screen and start talking. So I would say reach out to as many people as you can. You never know who's going to provide some stuff pro bono for you. Everybody's really trying to collaborate in this exciting new format of event sharing. So I would say just keep at it and build your connections, and it'll build from there. I'm curious if you have any opinions on that too, Elizabeth.
Yeah, completely agree. StreamYard is an amazing tool. It's something that I wish would have come out years ago because oh my goodness, I love utilizing it, especially for LinkedIn Lives. But when I was getting started with content, it was really just about showing up online. LinkedIn Live didn't even become a thing until maybe about, I think, a year ago. Don't quote me on that, but it's something that's growing, that's building. And yeah, I would utilize the free option. I used that for a while, but honestly, I really wanted to brand my Lively Liz Creations logo in the top corner. So that's what finally caused me to pull the plug. I was like, I am going with the premium account. So
it's definitely a good investment for sure.
Agreed.
Our next question is, what are some key considerations to adjust tone and style for different social platforms?
Ooh, great question. And honestly, the answer to this is extremely complex. I worked fully in social media for a full year. I was posting consistently on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And quite honestly, each platform has its own very special way of trying to hook an audience. On LinkedIn, a long post generally does quite well. A post where you're sharing a story, multiple paragraphs, paragraphs that have 2 or 3 sentences in them, each sentence only being about a line and a half. That type of content resonates really well. You can't do that on Twitter. On Twitter, you're going to do really well if you share something really catchy right at the start. You've only got like a sentence or maybe 2 tops to really, throw that in fast and punch hard. On Instagram, it has to look visually appealing. You have to have an aesthetic in place. You need to remain consistent in that. And it's very important that you are engaging with the community, not trying to sell too much. So there's a lot of, you could honestly take a class on it. There are now full master's degrees in social media because of this. So you asked a question that I tried to kind of skim over very quickly, but I could spend 3 hours on giving a StreamYard talk on that alone.
It's so true. And especially on StreamYard, you can stream to multiple platforms at once. So you have all of these options to hit with one tool.
Yes.
So that's really helpful. From Katie, I find social media to be very overwhelming and stressful. How do you deal with any digital fatigue or anxiety?
I love this question because I've struggled with it as well. And I love that you're hitting on it because when you ignore those feelings, I think it consumes you to the point where you stop being on social media at all. And that is so dangerous for future you, for your growth on the platform. So, and just meeting amazing people. Growth aligns with building community, I think. So for me, I really try and look into why I have those feelings. Is it I'm comparing myself to others? Is it that the content that I'm consuming, when I'm not creating, when I'm consuming, what is that content doing to me? Is it making me feel good? Is it inspiring me? Or is it making me feel like I'm not doing the right things? Or is it reminding me of things I don't want to think about? For me, I'm really intentional with who I follow. I'm primarily on LinkedIn and Instagram. And it's very, very important to me that I follow people who create content that, again, inspires me, that is interesting to me, that makes me want to go garden, want to learn what type of flower they're showing off, where did they buy their dress, instead of how can I look like that, or what am I doing wrong? Who are people who are uplifting me and providing value to the platform, as opposed to trying to just pull as many eyes as possible and just take what they can. So I think, Katie, I've struggled with this as well. And when I do that, that's generally when I try and clean up my following list. You can easily unfollow someone on LinkedIn and still be a connection with them. I'll admit I do that from time to time. You can mute people on Instagram. I've done that as well. Just take a break, but do what you can to stay consistent.
So true.
Oh,
great advice. It's a lot. It's a lot to be on screen all the time and throughout those different platforms like we were talking about earlier. The next one, I guess, would be a good transition, but how do you deal with imposter syndrome?
Great question. I struggle with imposter syndrome, especially when I started a full-time role in social media. I went, oh my goodness, do I know what I'm doing? Am I good at this? I don't think I am. It took me a lot to tell myself that I was chosen for a reason, that I did a great job, that I show up consistently and I have this presence. I can do something. For me, how I deal with it is very much who my target audience is. It's really, really important to me that everything that I write goes back to helping the people that I'm writing for. For me, I'm not trying to, I'm kind of trying to impress the future employers, my future business partners, but I'm more so trying to inspire, energize, help other people. So I don't get a lot of imposter syndrome when I'm posting about these things that really matter to me, that are fun to me, that have helped me, because I'm able to just be there, and help. So I guess dealing with it is, I think it's a matter of trying to maybe redefine your target audience. Who are you creating content for? Is it for that person that you've always compared yourself to, that, maybe they were prom king or queen in high school, or maybe they were really well known in your sorority in college, and are you creating content for them, or are you creating content for maybe someone that you could be a good mentor to, or someone who hasn't had the advantage that you had? How can you help them? And then I think that feeling kind of goes away and is replaced with just a desire to help. And that feeling is very fulfilling.
Awesome. I love that. Next up, we have Craig Thomas, who says, I've been getting 5,000 views per day, but I don't know what my audience wants. How can I be more targeted?
Ooh, so I'm curious to see, when you say you've been getting 5,000 views a day, I'm curious what your engagement rate looks like. So out of all the people watching, who is commenting, who's liking, who is most involved? And I think that those people might be an aspect of your target audience. What's kind of beautiful about the target audience is you create it. You create your target audience. So the things that you're talking about, you can pull context clues. Like, for example, all these comments on the side, these questions people are asking, I could create LinkedIn posts on all of their questions, right? So like, you can be targeted just based on what they're asking, what they're most excited about. Maybe you get 10,000 views on something. What is that? And can you create more content on that? Because the people who were very excited about that are going to stay interested and excited. But my only caution is, what if something, that is not interesting to you becomes your blow up moment? Maybe it's making a grilled cheese sandwich and no one has seen you make it that way. And you're going, I'm trying to teach people how to be professional, quality people. And all people care about is this grilled cheese sandwich. That happens. People will come and go for those reasons. But ultimately, add in the personal life things, the fun grilled cheese, gluten-free, for Presley and I. Like, add in those fun side things so you can connect with people and relate to people, but also create content for you. You are ultimately your target audience, and those are the people who are going to be attracted to your content long term as well. Hopefully that answers the question.
So true. You're the person doing this day in, day out, and your content in a way begets more content. So yeah, you're right. It's so true to keep track of the things that you're most interested to. Next, Q for Elizabeth. Which is better to post to, a LinkedIn personal profile or a business profile, or both?
Ooh, I love this. It depends. I will almost always say personal, because businesses have a really hard time getting views, getting likes, getting comments, and establishing credibility. Whereas individual profiles, in fact, there are several case studies you can look up online of people who have, like, LinkedIn doesn't publish a lot of their algorithm details, but I have noticed myself just from running a personal page and having my own for Lively Liz Creations, I have my own business page. My views on my personal page get 50 times the views of business pages. It is really, really hard to show up as a business, unless you're coming from a very human standpoint, I would say. You'll notice that the businesses that really have high quality content, those are the businesses that are talking about the people, that are really letting the people show up as opposed to what they're selling. So something to keep in mind for you.
So true. And thank you so much for all of your amazing answers to these questions and your beautiful presentation. I have to say, this might be the best presentation we've had so far, at least visually. It's been, all of our guests have been awesome, but what a beautiful, no wonder you're in content creation. It was so gorgeous. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
So next, we are going to go into our giveaway, which is one of the most exciting parts of this entire series. I love performing the giveaway. I believe, okay, so everyone, if you can, right now, comment in the chat, #SYGrow. And then you will be eligible to win a mug and a hoodie. That's some serious swag. Very exciting. We have 2 winners today. So make sure to comment now or forever hold your potential for a mug or hoodie. So, oh, okay. We've got some people coming in. It's good. And we will email everybody too with the recording of this. If you're registered for this event, just so you know, if you missed any of Elizabeth's awesome tips, you will be able to get the recording. We'll also email those of you who win this giveaway. So let's see, I'll give you 1 or 2 more moments. 1 or 2 more moments to submit.
Love this. So many people.
I know. It's amazing. It's been such an active chat too. Everybody wants to talk about your content and all the help that you've given everyone. It must be, it's really amazing. It's awesome.
Thanks, folks. Don't forget to enter.
Yes, yes. All right. Okay. It looks to be slowing down. I think let's do a draw. Let's do our first draw. Here we go. Still need a little drum roll. All right. Congratulations, Dr. Joan Riveron Velez.
Congrats.
We will be emailing you and you will get that mug and hoodie. Congratulations. Thanks for attending today.
Thank you.
All right. Now we're going to draw again. Here we go.
I feel like it's one of those wheels. It's very exciting. Yay!
Igor Lukashin, congratulations. I apologize if I've botched anybody's name so far, but congratulations. You'll be getting that mug and hoodie, and we will be in touch with you. Thank you so much for attending today. And thanks again, Elizabeth. We've learned so much from you. It's been such a great episode. And I'm looking forward to seeing all you do on LinkedIn and taking these notes on my own account. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Presley. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, everyone in the chat who showed up. Give me a follow. Stay tuned to learn about my next LinkedIn post. Lately, I've been talking about my new job at Amazon. So if you're interested in corporate America and how to crack the interview, I'd love to hang out with you over on LinkedIn. So
very cool. Thanks so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good day.
And for our